This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, May 9th. Please stand for our invocation, led by City of Mobile Police Chief Lawrence Baptiste, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence following the pledge for Captain Doug Parmenter's father, the loss of his father, Wallace Harvey Parmenter.
Let us pray. Our most Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning with bowed heads and humble hearts. First of all, giving thanks, dear Lord, for the many blessings that you bestowed upon us. We like to thank you, dear Lord, for the opportunity, dear Lord, to be the one to lead the prayer today, dear Lord. We ask that you guide us as we make decisions, dear Lord. We pray for this city council. We pray for the mayor. We pray for all the citizens of the city of Mobile, dear Lord. We pray that you would just be with us, guide us, and keep us, dear Lord. We ask, dear Lord, that as we work to take care of the business of this city, that you give us guidance, dear Lord, and that we be obedient, dear Lord, to the things that you tell us to do. We would just ask that you just continue to watch over us and guide us as we try to do the things that you would have us do. Dear Lord, thanks for everything that you've done, and we give thanks for all these blessings that you bestowed upon us. In the name of your Son, Jesus the Christ, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you would, please remain standing for the moment of silent prayer for the loss of Captain Parmenter's father. If you would, just in your own way.
Roll call. President Gregory.
Here.
Vice President Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Small.
Here.
Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Days.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Statement of rules.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good to have you here. A smaller crowd than last week. We had a lot of students in the audience last week. A lot is going on in our city, and you'll hear more about that coming up. But I do want to touch on a few of the things that happened last week and are coming up this week. The bicentennial celebration kicked off here in Mobile on Friday evening at Cooper Riverside Park in Gulf Quest. Governor Ivey was on hand to be a part of the launch, along with many other state and city dignitaries. The bicentennial celebration began here because, as you all know, Mobile is the state's oldest city. So we were very excited to kick off this bicentennial celebration. And yesterday, another big celebration over in Tricentennial Park, District 1, Mr. Richardson's district. We kicked off construction of the Greenway Initiative for our city, and that links all communities together through biking, hiking, walking trails, and also puts opportunities back on the water with kayaking and canoeing. So many thanks to everyone who's been involved. We have a lot of private organizations who've been helping us with this, and we're just very grateful for everyone coming together with this terrific idea to bring everybody back to our waterfront areas within the city and to make this a wonderful part of what we do here in Mobile. Also, this afternoon, National Travel and Tourism Day will kick off at Cooper Riverside Park. Members of the hospitality organizations and amenities in our area will be on hand to celebrate and acknowledge the fact that tourism is very important to us here in our city. May 23rd is our normal meeting on a Tuesday. We are moving that to May 24th. A couple of our colleagues will be traveling on official business to the Alabama League of Municipalities meeting, so we will be moving the normal meeting, which is Tuesday the 23rd, to May 24th, so put that on your calendar. And our last off-site council meeting is set for June 27th. That will be in District 4, 6 o'clock p.m. at Burroughs Elementary School. On our agenda today, we are bringing our second police precinct into the district. Captain Batiste, good grief. Chief Batiste, I know you're excited about this, as I'm sure your officers are. It will be at Tillman's Corner at the Tillman Square Shopping Center. Right now, these officers are located over at the WAC, the Western Administrative Complex, which is across the street from the Mobile Museum of Art. So that's a long way from the area that they patrol. So this will not only be a big cost saver, but will improve the response times for these officers and also, of course, improve the protection that they're able to offer to all of our constituents. We have a number of capital improvement projects on the agenda today, as we do, every week, pretty much. They include security measures at Harmon Park, testing and engineering for dredging at Langen Park, and some drainage improvements over on Dauphin Street. We are continuing to bolster our focus on making improvements at our city parks. We will be reallocating some funds to match a state grant for a master plan for all of our parks citywide. And there's also a reallocation of some unused community development block grant funds that will be used for sidewalks on Houston Street to Barclay Drive, and on Stone Court, Craft Court, and on Dickens Street. So very good news, continuing to put in sidewalks and work on our parks. The rules of our council, very simple. We just ask everyone to please turn off your electronic devices. If you come to the podium to speak, you'll have 5 minutes. At the end of 4 minutes, you'll hear the buzzer. Please give us your name and address for the record. If you have questions or concerns, please address them to me. I'm the chair, and I will ask the appropriate member of the administration or council to resolve that issue for you at that time. Again, thank you so much for coming. Ms. Lambert?
Approval of minutes of May 2nd.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Communications from the mayor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
First order of business would be recognition of Officer of the Month, and I would ask that the Chief and Officer Margot Andrews please approach the podium and face the council while I read the certificate. Officer Margot Andrews has rendered a service to the City of Mobile which deserves special recognition. On the night of April 19th, Officer Margot Andrews was en route to a business located on Springle Avenue in reference to a close patrol. Prior to arriving, she was informed of a suspicious individual at the property. Minutes later, Officer Andrews arrived on the scene and observed a man under the hood of a vehicle. He was observed removing the battery from the vehicle. As she approached the subject in her vehicle, he ran. She exited her patrol vehicle and pursued the man on foot. She did a visual scan of the nearby streets and did not see the subject in the area. Officer Andrews then surmised that the subject may not have left the property and began to search for him underneath the vehicles on the property, just like we see on TV. She found him hiding under a truck on the property. The suspect was interviewed and charged with 22 counts of unlawful breaking and entering a vehicle and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer. Officer Margot's attention to detail, dedication, and commitment to police service has continued to be at a professional level of our standards. In total last month, she answered 92 calls for service and served as the backing unit for 67 calls. Officer Andrews has 22 felony arrests and 5 misdemeanor arrests during the month of April. She also issued 7 citations and wrote 5 field interrogation cards. Her initiative, enthusiasm, and excellence in her overall performance show a proactive police style and is a tremendous asset to the City of Mobile. Now, therefore, on behalf of all the citizens, we are pleased to award this certificate of recognition to her as Officer of the Month for April 2017 with our sincere thanks. Congratulations. As Council President Gregory pointed out about the Greenway, the 3 Mile Creek Greenway Trail, now we just would like to point out there's like 69,000 citizens that live within 1 mile of the trail. There's over 900 businesses that are within 1 mile of the trail, 3 hospitals, and so the impact that it should have connecting our community all the way from USA ultimately to Mobile Bay, should just be huge. Other communities that have had greenway projects like this, you start seeing commerce and residential areas starting to thrive because of the proximity to these trails, and we certainly hope that's the outcome that we'll have in the city. Now, funding for the entire trail has not been secured. It'll be as a pay-as-you-go program. This funding for the first mile of the trail, has been secured, so we will be turning over every rock and every leaf and hoping that citizens and businesses and foundations and government grants will help us find the rest of the money to complete this project. The Community Foundation is helping in that effort. They have set up a way for us through PayPal for individuals to contribute, and if you go to www.communityfoundationsa.org, and I'm sure everybody will remember that, you can designate the Mobile Greenway Fund, or you can just go to the Community Foundation website and look up the Greenway Fund, and they'll tell you how you can help us restore this historic creek, which will be a huge benefit to everybody in the community. Last week we had the opportunity to go in District 3, wasn't it, Councilor Richardson, where we had that basketball court? Is that District 3 or District? We almost had a basketball dunking contest at Sage Park, but Councilman Richardson promised that he wouldn't challenge me if I wouldn't challenge him. So there was no dunking of the basketball on a great court that everybody can see as they drive down Sage Avenue and Dolphin Street. So we're grateful to see that park built out. We're really grateful for what Commissioner Ludgood has done to help us fund the lighting there, the new bathroom, as well as the basketball court. So great for that park, because it has certainly become the premier park for our sports efforts, to improve all the sports efforts in the city. Having said that, on the agenda this week, which will be held over, but there are several several items that address the long-range planning for the parks. I believe the City Council is excited about having a long-range plan so that we have a map to go forward to make sure that we spend the money in the parks and get the most bang for our buck. So a huge move, probably several months before we have the outcome of that plan, but it's certainly a step in the right direction to have a comprehensive plan to make sure we allocate funds properly across the city and all of our parks. The comments that were made by Council President Gregory regarding Precinct 2, the locating of Precinct 2 into the precinct is really about having a safer city. The bottom line, it is about being able to serve the citizens in Precinct 2 in a quicker, more efficient fashion. And for those that can visualize it in their mind, the policemen that serve Precinct 2, they have to drive, which is in the Tillman's Corner area. They start their shift every day at the across the street from the Art Museum, what we call the WAC. And so there's about a 12-mile drive to get into their precinct. Countless hours are being lost during that travel time, especially late in the afternoon. So this is going to be a huge benefit for our citizens, because when they call the police, they typically want someone in a quick fashion, and because of the travel time, we haven't been able to do that. And this will be the first time that we have had a precinct centrally located in Precinct 2. So that should occur hopefully by midsummer. And so I'm hopeful that all the citizens in that area are as excited as we are about what will be improved services. We'll also use that office to house a municipal clerk to help us become more effective in that area of the city services. So, Madam President, that is all of my announcements at this time.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple of proclamations to award today, and I would like for our City Clerk, Lisa Lambert, and Assistant City Clerk, Marianne Merchant, if you would join me here at the podium. We had a little fun with them at our pre-conference meeting. This one is a little more serious. Okay. Whereas the Mobile City Council is celebrating City Clerks Week to recognize the accomplishments of the Mobile Office of the City Clerk on May 7th through 13th, 2017. And whereas this office is the oldest among public servants who provide the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And whereas the city clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. And whereas they continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of their office through participation in education programs and seminars, workshops, and annual meetings of their state, provincial, and county and international professional organizations. Now therefore we, the members of the Mobile City Council, along with the mayor, do hereby proclaim May 7th through 13, 2017 as City Clerks Week in the City of Mobile and urge all of our citizens to join with us in extending appreciation to City Clerk Lisa Lambert and Assistant City Clerk Mary Ann Merchant. And I've got the real things here for you as well.
Speech.
Yeah, we need a
No
speech.
5 minutes.
Only 5 minutes, that's right. At the end of 4 minutes, you'll hear the buzzer. But Lisa, why don't you?
I really am so appreciative of this recognition. I think this is the first time that Mary Ann and I have been recognized as city clerk and assistant city clerk in our professions, and we do strive every day to provide the best service and do the best job that we can for our council and also for our administration and other departments within the city. Thank you so very much.
All right, Ms. Lambert?
Adoption of the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance on May 20th on Cottage Hill Road, May 13th on Foster Lane, and May 13th on Navco Road.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Danny Cordy.
Good morning, Madam President, City
morning.
Council members, the Mayor and his staff, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful day in Mobile, Alabama. Another beautiful day in Mobile, Alabama. For the record, Danny Cordy, Executive Director of the Mobile Sports Authority. We're at 301 Government Street. As a sports tourism arm for the City and County of Mobile, we at the MSA are very proud to represent you as we attract and have attracted many visiting sporting events to our area. But make no mistake, we could not have done what we have done so far and had the success that we've had without your investment and without your blessing, which we are very grateful for. Of course, Councilman Williams is your representative and is a very active member of our board, and again, that's something that has helped our success too. But I just want to say, just thank you so much for the confidence. As I like to do, I wanted to bring you information on our mid-year update. With just a little over 7 months of fiscal 2017, the MSA has attracted, hosted, and supported 18 sporting events, which have generated an estimated $14 million of economic impact to the Mobile area. Those 18 events involve 14 different sports, such as basketball, gymnastics, volleyball, lacrosse, track and field, running, and soccer, plus others. Also, 8 of those 18 events are either first or second time events. Right, those are first or second time events for us. As a comparison, back in 2011, 18 events was usually what we had done all year, the whole fiscal year, instead of just through 7 months. So again, that's a testament to the support that both the city and the county have given us. Over the past several years, we've averaged between 30 and 35 events. And we also have approximately 10 to 12 other events coming up between now and the end of the fiscal year, plus another 20 events over the next year and a half. So again, we're very proud, but we could not have done it without you. One of a neat event we had this past weekend was our first annual Bowling on the Bay basketball tournament. The mayor mentioned basketball, and we had approximately 80 teams here. We put 9 courts down in the convention center in what we believe is the largest youth basketball tournament ever to be held in Southwest Alabama. Something that we started this year. We're going to hopefully grow it. We have another tournament coming up next month. The growth of youth basketball is just one instance of what you're seeing sports tourism do, just continuing to grow. And on that also, if you know, last week the Alabama Tourism Department reported that in 2016, Mobile County had approximately a 5% increase in the number of visitors and visitor spending, and we have no doubt that a portion of that was from sports tourism. We've had 2 record years in a row, again, thanks partially to you guys too, and it's something, the sports tourism just continues to grow. So again, I just wanted to give you a brief update. Of course, our door is always open. Our taglines, "Go All Out, We Do," and we try to live by that daily with our board and our 3-person staff. And again, we're really proud to represent the city and the county of Mobile as we go out and bring these events to town. And we hope to continue to grow as we've grown, and we hope we can count on your support. And again, the door is always open. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know. So thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it.
Kelly Warren.
Good morning, Kelly Warren. I'm representing Mobile County Health Department at 251 North Bayou Street. I also represent the Women Making a Difference, which is a public health advisory board that's an arm of the Mobile County Health Department. In 2013, this group of dedicated women got together to reignite the fire around a biking and walking path along 3 Mile Creek, and we are so thrilled for the progress that has been made since then. In 2015, we hosted our first Creek Fest event in order to bring awareness to this vision of a biking and walking path, to let more folks in the community know about it, to let them know that the plans were there, but we just needed more chatter about it in order to make it a reality. Yesterday was like Christmas morning for a 40-year-old, I can tell you. I was absolutely thrilled at the turnout and the support that you all have shown this initiative and the actual legs that it finally has. The community is very excited. And I will say at the past Creek Fest events, if you're looking for a true example and a true visualization of One Mobile, that event is it. So please, I hope you all will be able to come out and join us. We've heard from Councilman Small and Councilman Richardson that you all plan to be there. The event's going to be this Saturday, May 13th at Tricentennial Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be a free family fun day. The park looks fantastic, so thanks to the Parks and Recreation and Public Works for all that they have done to get it ready. We'll have a cane pole fishing tournament for kids 16 and under with Jason Smith serving as the MC and judge. He's done a wonderful job for us in the past. We'll also have a mini badge college for Boy Scouts who are seeking merit badges. We'll have about 5 or 6 opportunities for them. Additionally, we'll have music by Molly Thomas. We'll have food and canoe and kayak rides in the creek, so folks will have an opportunity to actually get in the creek and enjoy paddling around in what is on its way to becoming a beautiful resource for the community. We have a couple more events leading up to Creek Fest, and so we invite you, if you have a few minutes tomorrow, to come out and bring a brown bag to lunch in Tricentennial Park and just enjoy the beautiful setting. And then Friday we'll begin with our plans for setting up for Saturday's event. We'll have our idea board there, as we have had the past 2 years, where we invite attendees of the event to write what their visions or dreams for the Greenway are on the board. So we're actually collecting their input and sharing that with the Parks and Rec Department for moving forward. So thank you for your support. I applaud your efforts with getting this trail moving in the right direction to actually becoming something we can all enjoy. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Richardson?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President. I was at the Greenway Initiative yesterday, and I made known my vision for the Greenway Initiative, and I would just like to reiterate my vision. You're going to start off at the Tricentennial Park, and that's in District 1. And if you're going to start in District 1, you got to be different. District 1, you can't be ordinary. You got to be out of the box. So what I recommended, that the trail is 10 feet wide and it's going to have a lane for walking, jogging, and biking. I want us to think about the airplane as it comes into the airport. The runway is going to light up to let the pilot know this is where he should land. I want the trail to have similar lights as though it is a runway at the airport. So there would be a no doubt moment. Anyone crossing the runway would have to know that they have arrived. Anything shorter than that would not be up to par for District 1. Just want to get that in.
Thank you very much. We will record that on the board. And there are trails within the U.S. where they actually do have lit sidewalks that glow from underneath. So they're they're beautiful in the evening. So.
Yay.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Resolutions held over. 21-259, authorized contract with Driven Engineering for Taylor Park Drainage Design Services.
So moved.
Discussion?
Yes, Madam President.
Mr. Small?
This is another phase of for the trail, the walking trail at Taylor Park. We're about to break ground to do a walking trail, but just before that, we came across some other issues for drainage. So this is a contract for the drainage for the walking trail at Taylor Park. And as soon as this is designed, we're going to be looking to do a groundbreaking for the walking trail at Taylor Park, which is located at Baltimore Street. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 03-265 through 58-269.
Motion for the suspension of the rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 03265 through 58269.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
03265, reappoint Michael Kane and Richard Meadows to the Electrical Examiners Board.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
37266, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a non-profit tax-exempt license to National Wild Turkey Federation, Inc. on North Cody Road.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
58-267, 268, and 269 are assessing costs for removal of weeds, groups 1547, 1549, and 1550.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
CIP resolutions being introduced for the first time, 21-270 through 21-272.
Motion for the suspension of the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 21-270 through 21-272.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
21-270, authorized contract with Commercial Diving Services for Harmon Park Recreation Center interior wall and security measures.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21-271, authorized contract with Geotechnical Engineering Testing for Langen Park dredging.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Just a note here, we are continuing to move forward on dredging Langen Park Lake, which will go toward some of the work we are doing on the Greenway Initiative up that direction. It may start over here with construction in District 1, but water flows from 7 down to 1. So looking forward to getting this work done. This is just one of the first phases, though, so we've got a ways to go. But again, a great step forward.
Amen.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21-272, authorized contract with Sunset Contracting for Dolphin Street drainage repairs.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Madam President.
Mr. Daves?
Yes, ma'am.
Williams.
Thank you. This is, anyone that uses Dolphin Street Extension between Rhymes Road and McGregor Avenue has probably noticed some cones in the middle of the very long median there. And this is a 48-inch drainage pipe, stormwater drainage pipe that the top is collapsed on. And this is a project to repair that. I would just say that this is the kind of routine maintenance we do on our existing stormwater drainage system. This is just going to, patch it back up. The longer-term fixes for the ditches and inlets and so forth are of course much bigger items. But we have to do this periodically, and this is $71,000. We have to do this periodically just to keep what we got working. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to make a point here that generally speaking, the council has held up CIP resolutions over 50,000. In this case, it was agreed that it is a emergency. It is necessary now that we address this to not incur any more cost, and it is just in a dangerous spot, so it must be addressed.
Yep. Anyone else? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 09273 through 35278.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 09273 and 274 through 278 will lay over for 1 week by council rules.
No, we weren't going to. No, we weren't going to. No, we're just going to go ahead and lay all these over. We had discussed going ahead and voting on 273 and 274, but we're going to go ahead and lay all these over
Okay.
by rules of the council for one more week.
Okay. Announcements.
All right. Let's see, Mrs. Rich.
Thank you. Just want to remind everyone again about the Memorial Weekend concert. It will actually be on Saturday, on May 27th at 7 p.m. at Medal of Honor Park in the Pavilion for the Pops Band concert. Hope to see you there. The District 6 community meeting will take place on June 15th at 6:30 at the Connie Hudson Senior Center. The topic will be public safety. I've invited our Chief of Police, the Director of Public Safety, and also perhaps at the time, our new Fire Chief. Just saying, if all things work out, that might be a great introduction to our community if that is all possible. And again, that's June 15th at 6:30 at the Connie Hudson Senior Center, and that is a full district-wide community meeting. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Small.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to make knowledge of Resolution 31-276. I have a constituent that's in the audience this morning. She came down to support this resolution. I got a text message that we're on our way. I told them back, got to cross some I's, some T's, and dot some I's. But she said it was coming grinning. Ms. Williams, will you wave your hand? She been on me for like 2 or 3 years saying that she wants some sidewalks. She said she's been located on Houston Street for over 40 years. And I said, over 40 years, you don't even look like you're 40 years old. And when I sent her the message last week, and they was like, I'm coming to support. I said, I'm glad it is. Well, keep on grinning. The council see you. The contract is before us, and we see you grinning. Just keep on grinning till next week. And if this council passes, we're going to look for some sidewalks on Houston Street, okay? Also, on last Saturday, I had the opportunity to attend the DIP annual festival, Sausage Festival. It was a great event, a great fundraiser for the many schools such as BC Rain and other nonprofit organization that was put on by the United Methodists off of the Parkway. It was great attendance, many choirs. The University of Mobile have a phenomenal choir along with the BC Rain High School. And looked around, and the Good Shepherd, I'm not too sure, is she the Good Shepherd of Tomerville, District 1, or the city of Mobile, but she was all the way on the Parkway at this Sausage Festival, Mrs. Anton. But it was a great event. I appreciate all the sponsors and everyone who came out to make this a great event for BC Rain High School. On Thursday, May the 11th, 2017, at the grounds, which is also known as the Mobile Greater Gulf State Fairgrounds, there will be a business expo job fair sponsored by the South Alabama Regional Planning Commission. This job fair is for prospects or people looking for jobs or people that are looking for employees. We ask you, if you're looking for a job, to please bring your resume to the ground from 9 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. There will be over 75 vendors that will be present. If you have any question, you can contact them at 251-433-6541 or 251-652-0585, or you can go to their website, the South Alabama Regional Planning Commission website. Again, this will take place on Thursday, May the 11th, 2017 at the grounds from 9 a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. And remember that District 3 is the place where things are happening. Thank you, Madam President.
All righty. Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Madam President. I think some may have noticed I showed up a little late today. It was, I was making some last minute, some modifications to the resurfacing and sidewalk programs that are going on throughout District 4. It is it's amazing, as I rode around last week, to see all the work that's been done. You see the numbers, we see the plan, we know it's working, we get the reports, but sometimes to just ride around with the sole purpose of going to the place where the work has been done is absolutely amazing. I invite anyone that is interested in walking on a trail that will look much like the one that is going to be built in District 1 and 7 to come down to District 4. And between Government Street Baptist Church and the intersection of Halls Mill and Azalea along the south side of Montlamar Canal is a completed walking path that is ready for bicycles and walkers and runners now. And we will soon be putting up signage and having a grand opening. But I welcome anyone that wishes to go down there to come and take a walk. It is very peaceful along that peaceful water. And I ask that somehow that we not spray the sides of the creek this year. And let's see how the canal does without the brown, the overnight dead weeds that greet our walkers this year. Mayor talked about the new precinct, and it's coming to District 4 essentially, but centrally located in Precinct 2 for the first time. I think that's something that's significant. That this wasn't something where we just picked a place on the map and went. There was a lot of study that went on, and I applaud the administration and both Chief Batiste and the Director of Public Safety, Barber, in their involvement in this. The mayor talked about it saving time, being more convenient, a little more responsive, but it's more than fuel and time. It's about public presence and a place that desperately needs it. A precinct that takes over 50,000 calls of service a year. It serves almost 80,000 residents in that area. It ranges all the way from Airport Boulevard all the way down to Lauren Dean Road. What we sometimes don't think about is our police go into the police jurisdiction, which extends way beyond our city boundaries and puts a tremendous burden on the people trying to accomplish that mission. We're not only going to increase the time of, decrease the time of response. That equates to increasing officers' time on the beat. It means that we not only save fuel, but we're going to trade in travel time for response time. So now when people call, we can have a reasonable expectation that they will respond in time to address that which is impacting our citizens then and now, not the time that it might cost or take to drive from Museum Drive down to the place where the bad guys are. So I applaud the administration again. I know what a tremendous impact this is going to have on public safety. We must be reminded this is our #1 mission, and I think this is one of the biggest steps in the 10 years that I've been on the council that we have taken to address the public safety in District 4 and in District 2. So I look forward to working with Captain Prine as he puts that precinct into operation. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Richardson.
Thank you, Madam President. We had an outstanding day last Sunday. We had the Mobile Youth Symphony Orchestra to perform in the Trinity Gardens Park at the amphitheater. Just a tremendous crowd. They did an outstanding job. We're looking for them to come back next year. And let me just say, I have the only authentic amphitheater in the city. One with air-conditioned dressing rooms, one with light and sound. I have a big berm for the overflow, and all of that was at work on Sunday, and the people came, and they had a tremendous time. And I would like to thank the officials, Celia Bear and her team for joining with us to bring such a venue inside the neighborhood so the kids could see what's going on. As you know, last week we opened up the basketball court at Herndon Sage Park. It has turned out to be phenomenal. It's I went by there Sunday. The court was packed out. People standing on the outside. We had people riding through in disbelief that this was happening at Sage Park. We had kids at Sage Park who had never played any sports at Sage Park before. And I posted on Facebook this young man that had an artificial leg up there playing with the rest of the kids. It's just a no doubt moment that this is what we should have done. Now the court is in the parking lot, and there's something like an 8-foot fence around the court, and we have had people criticizing. I had a gentleman up there Sunday morning. He said that the court appears to be a prison camp because there is a fence around the basketball court. And for the sake for those out there who've heard this negative comment, there was no room at the park to build a basketball court in the inside of the field. We had no room; it was all built out. We only had room in the parking lot. So we had to take up part of the parking lot to build the basketball court. But we're just a few feet from Dolphin Street. If we didn't put the fence up and a ball, and Sage Avenue, we're just a few feet from Sage Avenue and from Dolphin. If we didn't put the fence up and those kids start playing ball and the ball runs over into Dolphin Street and a driver trying to dodge the ball, swivel over and hit somebody else and kill or harm somebody else, they're going to sue the city for having done that. We had to put the fence up to trap the ball inside the court. We had no other choice. Without the fence, we couldn't build a court. Now, if we was going to build a court in the back of the field, we wouldn't need a fence for that. We can play all day. We don't have a fence at Figures Park. We have a court out there. Because the ball, if it leaves the court, it's just going to run out on the green. But there, the ball would go into the streets, and we had to put the fence up. But people are having a great time. I had people all the way from Mount Vernon down trying to figure out what they need to do to build one just like that. And let me say now, it is my hope and my dream that there will be a basketball court in every sports park in the city of Mobile. Let the children play. Let them play if it's a sports park. Now, Tricentennial, it's a family park. It's no sports there. But if it is a sports park, put a basketball court up and let the children play. Popeyes opened on Saturday. At 10 o'clock, I was at the opening, and I found out that they've already hired 75 people. It's the new Popeyes in Crichton. they have already hired 75 people. And I just went on and asked them to feed the people that's going to be coming to the Mobile Symphony in Trinity Garden, and they fed the people. And I was very proud of that. I'm proud that on the 18th at 2 o'clock on Thursday, we're going to break ground for the new Crichton Fire Station. It has been several years since we've had a fire station. So we're going to get a new fire station. I asked the mayor to add a meeting room so our CAG groups and other groups would have a place to meet. He has added the meeting room. So the citizens of Crichton, they can't wait for this to open, not only for our safety's sake, for the people in Midtown, Crichton, Tobinville, Trinity Gardens, but also for the meeting room. Thank you, Madam President.
All righty, Mr. Daves.
Thank you, Madam President. The City Council Finance Committee will meet on May 24th. As the Council President mentioned, we will be moving our meeting from the 23rd to the 24th, and so the Finance Committee will meet on the afternoon of the 24th at 2 o'clock p.m. We'll get an update on the year-to-date financials from Mr. Wesh. I hope that all of the council members can attend this meeting. There are some concerning trends in our revenues, and which have implications for the upcoming budget. And so I think it will be important. Again, I urge all the council members that can to attend that in order to, so that we can kind of get up to date on what we might expect in terms of the upcoming budget. Last Friday night was the kickoff in Mobile for the 200th anniversary of Alabama becoming a state. This was a event put on by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, which is a statewide commission, and they are funded by private donations. Governor Kay Ivey was here. Congressman Bradley Byrne was here. They spoke. Director Emeritus Ed Bridges from the State Archives gave a very inspiring talk about Mobile's history and everything that's happened here since prehistoric times. And he compressed that into about 15 minutes, which everybody I think there was thankful for that. And then there were all kinds of things for folks to do, both at Cooper Riverside Park and at Mardi Gras Park and the various venues in the city, capped off by a great fireworks display. So I think it's appropriate that the state's bicentennial celebrations commenced in Mobile, and I think everyone that attended last Friday night had a great time. Councilman Richardson and I had the opportunity to tour the Joshua Kennedy House on Government Street. This is antebellum residence, which was built by one of Mobile's leading citizens. It's an extraordinary building, just structurally. It's an extraordinary building. As many will recall, its fate was uncertain for some time, but a local organization is renovating it for use. And it really is a marvelous building, and want to thank those folks for taking it up. And it's one of a number of historic buildings within or adjacent to the Henry Aaron Loop that are being restored and repurposed by private organizations. And I think it's really very exciting for our downtown and for our entire city to see this kind of renovation going on in the heart of our city. And I want to commend these private organizations for taking the risk of devoting their funds to these efforts, and also commend the legislature for renewing the historic tax credit, which is so important to these renovations. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Daves. You forgot to mention that the mayor was able to poke a little fun at Mr. Richardson, who was also one of our speakers, because Mr. Richardson, being one of our senior colleagues, the mayor said he thought maybe Mr. Richardson was around when the state actually was formed and joined the union. Don't know if Mr. Richardson is quite that old, but Fred, I don't know.
Well, what I wanted to say to the mayor was that Youth is for strength. Age is for wisdom. I would take wisdom any day.
Well, you know, one of the things, Madam President, that Councilman Richardson had pointed out was that his church, the Stone Street Baptist Church, was actually founded ahead of the founding of the state. And I think you'll recall that last week I had mentioned that Councilman Richardson was one of the founders of the Stone Street Baptist Church.
All right, Fred, we'll stop picking on you now. All right, Mr. Manzi.
I just want to acknowledge that all that they've just talked about is located in District 2. Every square mile of it, from the Stone Street Baptist Church to where they kicked off the bicentennial, to the first area where Councilman Richardson lived when he moved into the city of Mobile. District 2 is the place to be. I just want to put that out there. I'm going to start out by announcing that this Saturday we're having a District 2 neighborhood cleanup. This is community driven. This is community driven neighborhood cleanup starting Saturday, May the 13th, 2017, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Check-in is at Crawford Murphy Park at the Virginia Street entrance from 8:30 till 11. This is in cooperation, of course, with my office, along with Keep Mobile Beautiful, the Oakley Garden District, Historic Mobile Preservation Society. Following the cleanup, we will have a District 2 cookout, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Crawford Murphy Park. Free family fun with hot dogs on the grill, music, games, and raffles. Bring your friends and neighbors. To RSVP, please contact Ann Pond 20, Ann Pond, ANNPOND 20 at gmail.com. And I want to thank her. She's the former president of the Oakley Garden Historic District for all of her efforts to organize, along with my office, this great neighborhood cleanup, and for their continued interest in making certain that areas of our district are pristine and welcoming both to our residents and to our visitors. We'd also like to announce that on May 12th, from 11 a.m. to 1:45 p.m. will be the registration for the new summer program that I'm sponsoring along with the Boys and Girls Club of South Alabama. It will be at Florence Howard Elementary School, 957 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, 36603. Again, that's May 12th from 11 a.m. to 1:45 p.m. The program will start on June 12th and will end on July the 21st for students between the ages of 6 and 14. And if you're above the age for this summer program, I'm hopeful that you would have given your name and fill out an application for the summer employment program headed up by Ms. Anitra Bell Henderson. Some 3,900 students, young people over the age of 14 have applied, and I'd like to applaud her for all of her valiant and wonderful efforts to find employment opportunities for all of those young people for the summer. I'm a big believer that if we give them something constructive and productive to do, then they won't go down an alternative path and enter into nefarious activities. We either invest on the front end or we're going to invest on the back end. And I'm proud to say that we're investing in a proactive measure with our students. So that summer program will be kicking off June 12th, July the 21st, ages 6 to 14 years old. I've been in contact with the parent advocate at the Mobile County Training School, one of the oldest schools in the city, in our school system. They asked my office to help them establish a computer lab. I want to announce that I have been successful in that effort, and we will be delivering 10 new laptops to kick off their computer lab on next week. So to the students there at the Mobile County Training School in the Plateau community, you will have your computer lab ready and going for the next school year. Like my colleague John Williams, I've had the opportunity to ride through the district, and I can't claim to you just how proud I am of some of the improvements that I'm seeing. And I'm proud of this council for having bold leadership. It takes bold leadership to extend sales tax. It's a very unpopular proposition. Everyone would tell you that we don't want to pay more. But when they're having an opportunity to see where these resources are going, it certainly makes it more palatable. When you ride down the north end of Church Street East, some of the most dilapidated surfaces as far as a roadway as you could find, over there by Crystal Ice. Well, ride by there now. Over there by Big Zion AME Zion Church. Ride by there now, over there near that new grills at Government and Broad. All of that is presently being resurfaced. The city is doing $2.99 million of resurfacing. 1/3 of that is in District 2. 1/3 of that amount, again, is in District 2, and I'm proud of that. To see the new sidewalks go on in District 2, I'm just as proud as I can be. We were talking earlier about walking trails. Well, in the last 3.5 years, we've installed 3 walking trails, not 1, not 2, but 3 in District 2. One at Plateau, one at Texas Street, one at Crawford Murphy Park. So there is no excuse for anyone, including myself, to be unhealthy. Get out there and walk on your walking trail. It's there. The amenities are there. You are seeing where your resources are being deployed. Finally, I want to pay tribute to an organization that meets here, a religious society that meets here every year, called the Church of the Living God, founded by Bishop Joseph White. One of the other bishops is Bishop Martha Edwards. I was a guest of theirs last week in a pastors and leadership conference. They put on a great conference. What I want to honor them for the last 5 to 6, 7 years, they have selected the city of Mobile as their host city for their annual conference. For 9 to 10 days, they inundate the city with hundreds of people from across the world, and they have given Mobile the highest of marks as it relates to hospitality, to friendliness, and I believe, as I talked with the bishop, talked with Bishop Edwards and the other bishops on the Bishops' Council, they are ready now to commit to coming to Mobile to well beyond 2020. And so we have something special here, City of Mobile, something special in our downtown. I believe our developers are feeling it. I believe our tourists are feeling it. And there's certainly some energy that I think that we can continue to create and enjoy for many years to come. Let me make certain. That concludes my announcements, Madam President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Manzi. In District 7, just as the rest of the city, we are seeing resurfacing going on. In fact, we were just about finished in District 7, a few tweaks to make before they go on elsewhere, but it is great to see all these newly resurfaced streets throughout the city. It looks fabulous. I'm getting a lot of comments from people who are happy to see it. Also, the sidewalk repair has been going on throughout the city, and what they're doing is when they repair sidewalks, if they also see some areas where there are gaps in sidewalks, they will go ahead and lay that too, so that the entire area will be consistent and have sidewalks throughout. Those crews will be moving into District 7 very soon, so I look forward to seeing that. Also, we mentioned this morning at our pre-conference meeting that the pay-as-you-go program will start cranking up really soon. Some of the bids have already gone out, others will begin going out soon, so it's almost a continuation of resurfacing that we will see throughout the city, and that's going to be a great project as well, thanks to the County Commission. Some other things coming up. Mrs. Rich has her district meeting on the 15th. Well, mine's on the 12th, so we'll just keep some of those same folks coming to both of these meetings. Invitations will be going out soon. We hope to have the chief of police, a new fire chief if he has been appointed by then. Also, Nick Amberger to bring us up to speed on the Ziegler widening as well as CIP, and hopefully the mayor will be able to come. The meeting will be at the St. John United Methodist Church over on Overlook Road. Also, I do want to let everybody know that the Mobile Museum of Art has Art Blast. They are summer art camps this year from June 12th through July 28th. Full and half days are available. It's a wonderful program. You can check them out online and get some more information about what there is to offer out there, but it's a wonderful program for the kids. They also have adult classes and programs as well. And this afternoon, I will be over at Cooper Riverside Park for the National Travel and Tourism Day. I get to do the welcome today, so I'll look forward to that. Miss Antone, I see your hand, and I don't know if I'm going to be reprimanded for allowing you to say something because we're at the end of the meeting now. So, you know what the rules are. So why don't you just tell me later, and we'll see if we can help you out. Any other discussion? Any other announcements? All right. With that, then, we are adjourned.